Hi everyone, welcome to the World Tapping Circle. We are so happy that you are joining us. We have a really special group of people here tonight, some of whom you may not know or may not have seen in a long time, and some who you're very familiar with. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Sonya Sophia. I know there's some new people on here tonight. And these people who you see on screen with me are people that I've spent many years loving and listening to and tapping with and training and watching them grow and apply the very same information you're getting to themselves, and then I've watched them turn around and be able to give powerful love healing results to other people using these same techniques. So these people are tried and true, and they're on the list of recommended practitioners. So if any of you feel like you need a more in-depth, more tailored or personal session than you're able to get from this more general broadcast, you're always welcome to go to my website, Sonya Sophia, SONYASOPHIA.US, that's .us, and look for the World Tapping Circle on the menu, and the drop down will give you a list of recommended EFT practitioners. These are people I've hand-picked that I would say I would get a session from any day of the week, and they're going to give you a really good deal because you are part of the World Tapping Circle, and there's a bio there for each person and a way to contact them. So feel free to do that. And most of them have a 30-minute free consultation, just kind of meet and greet, talk, and see if you're a good fit. So don't hesitate to use that. That's another resource that you have, and sometimes it's exactly what you need to get unstuck. Okay? So tonight we have a theme, and I want you to know that all these circles are general purpose circles. So you could really use any circle live or in your members area. And when you have a membership, you've got two things. You've got us emailing you going, you want to come to Circle? RSVP, come to Circle, come to Circle. And then you've also got the 24-hour tapathon available in your members library, and videos that show you how to tap, where to tap on the welcome page, and what to expect. So use your worldtappingcircle.com video library and your resources, and there you'll find the videos that we've already done, and they're listed by category, and you could use any of them on any subject. And at the beginning of each one, I like to offer a little bit of direction, in case you're just here going like, this is just a window of opportunity where I work on myself and I'm willing to just kind of take a suggestion and go with it. Or maybe it's a way to look at your issue under a different point of view. So tonight's theme is about perseverance. So in the last few months I've been doing this wave of the creation process, where we go through letting go and surrendering and layers of resistance and fear, and taking this first step, which we did last week with Jonna, who did a beautiful job. And thank you for everyone who texted me and emailed and called me and let me know what a great job she did. I also watched that replay video and tapped along with it, and I was amazed at how powerful the replay videos are. I haven't been doing them because I've been giving these circles. And yet, wow, I was tapping and crying and roaming around my apartment and going, ah! And I felt so much better afterwards. So thank you, Jonna, for an outstanding job. And she'll be leading more circles in the future as we continue to expand. And some of these fine people that you see on the screen may also lead the circle too, so that we have more variety and different points of view, new faces and different voices. And this is a collective process, even if I've been the team captain for a while. So tonight we're talking about perseverance and what it means to stay the course. So you've got your dream, and you've hopefully taken a step or started making movement in that direction. And then there's this moment where you could bail because you're not that invested yet. You've only done a little bit, and maybe you could back out, and it's not too late. And all of these new levels of fears come up, telling you maybe that you don't know what you're doing, or it's going to take too long, and there's just layers and layers of stuff that we all have to go through anytime we want to stick our neck out and risk anything. The inner critic has to be dealt with, and that's years of cultural conditioning. So I've asked each person here to just give us a little quick tip for how they deal with staying the course and how they use EFT, or how they help the people that they're working with who are working on challenging issues to stay the course using tapping. So I'd like to say hi to Jana. She's been here from the beginning. And welcome back, Jana. You look gorgeous. And give us a little insight about what you would use tapping for to help people stay persistent.
Wrong button. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jana Goldenflame, and I'm calling in from Oakland, California tonight. Let's see, perseverance. Perseverance is a tricky one for me personally. I have to really work to keep my stamina up sometimes. I'm more inclined to be the idea and the energy behind initiating a project, and hanging in there can be really challenging for me. So I would say that the biggest trick with using EFT would probably be consistency, learning how to tap by yourself in small moments between activities. So walking down the street or driving in the car, maybe just a few minutes before you start your day. I know that that can take an enormous, can create like an enormous shift in how I embrace my day, that who I show up as not like the overwhelmed and like resisting individual that I can be. It's if I can refocus and recenter on who I am, what I'm commanding happens in my life, how I show up for other people, and basically the space that I provide in my life, like what I say will happen in my presence in my lifetime. If I can refocus and recenter with that, then that will give me the motivation and the charisma to face all of the conversations throughout the day, the new clients, the new projects, the and just ongoing conversations with partners of mine on different endeavors. So I would say consistency and lots of small little taps, as well as like the big tap, which is of course great for moving the boulders, but it's that little moment in between.
Thanks, Jana. That's a great idea. Great tip. Finn, welcome back. Good to see you. This is Finn Deerhart, and
Hi.
he's in San Francisco. What do you have to say about persistence and consistency?
I like this topic a lot because I work with people on a lot of different levels in perseverance specifically. And I work with people's bodies. I train people and I help people lose weight, get in better shape, feel vital. Um, and most often people are very, and myself included, if you're taking on a lot, you can just be like, oh, I can't deal with all that. And it's really important to remember that every little thing adds up in the end. So it's like, instead of me saying, oh, I can't deal with it, I won't think about it right now and stay in my head. If I notice myself doing that, I'll have a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that thing, that I'm not working on my project or whatever it is that I'm putting off, and I'll tap just for that one little moment. And it won't even be like, it's kind of what John was saying, it won't be like I sit down for 30 minutes and tap. I'll just have a moment where I go, oh my God, I'm resisting that process, and I'll have maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and it'll help me make a tiny little change, and that tiny little change leads to my next tiny little change, and then I just keep on going with the momentum that I'm generating around being successful, instead of being overwhelmed or, sitting down and wasting that time, or however I might choose it. And it's the same with people when they're making physical changes or emotional changes. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you want to take on and that you're moving towards, you've got to be very focused on little things that feel really good to you and little changes that you can manage. And I think that that is an excellent way to use tapping.
Thanks, Finn. It's very true. The little choices we make in big results.
Mm-hmm.
And so we baby step our way through. Okay, and I want to welcome a new practitioner to the circle tonight. This is Jeff Mose, and he's awesome, beautiful, trained with me for several years in Italy, and has been teaching at festivals, and he is ready to step up his game and hold space on the circle. So welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Sonya. My name's Jeff, and I'm calling in from Lake Tahoe on the Nevada side. And when I think about perseverance and persistence, it's, the common theme with what John and Finn have said with consistency. You're in a state of growth or in restoration. And looking at it from an EFT standpoint, the obstacles that present themselves, the seemingly obstacles, are consistently opportunities. And if you can look at it from that aspect, then it makes it easy to consistently be in a state of growth, tackling things as they come up.
Sounds like you're all saying the same thing, like really go after the tiny little things in the moment. So self-tapping is a really wonderful tool, and using the circle is a way to get yourself conditioned to stop, drop, and tap when you feel yourself snagged. Great. Welcome to the circle, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dylan, I mean, look how many beautiful guys we have tonight. This is the first time that we've had 3 of our 4 male practitioners with us all at once. So Dylan McNeil, welcome back. He was here on some of the very first circles at the very beginning. You'll see him in the early videos. Welcome, Dylan. Go ahead and unmute yourself and talk to us about give us an example of how you use tapping to persevere on something in particular, if you can.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan. I'm calling in from Chico, California. And as far as perseverance goes for me, EFT has been one of the most powerful catalysts for change in my life. As far as everything that seemed to block me, like emotional binds from past experiences that held me back, whether they were thoughts or wasting my time doing other stuff or playing games or whatever it is, I found that I needed to shed off all the layers of the things preventing me from following my heart and following my dreams. And it seems like those things pile up sometimes. When you have a busy lifestyle or you're working a lot, sometimes you compensate with trying to relax in ways that aren't actually relaxing or healthy to your style or to your lifestyle. So I found that for me, when I noticed myself, like watching too much Netflix or doing other things that weren't actually serving me, I found that as a great opportunity to be able to work on those specific times and things. And when I freed up that stuff, I found that the EFT practice I had plenty of time to do it. I had more than enough time. I could wake up early and spend 30 minutes tapping, whereas before I thought I was too busy. I didn't have enough time. So I would say working on shedding everything that is not serving you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Great advice. And if you haven't already taken television out of your life, I hope that you have, but it's a great time waster. I noticed that back in the days, 20 years ago, when I was a TV watcher, I added up how many hours a week I was watching TV, and it turned out to be a part-time job. It was about 20 hours a week. And who wouldn't want a whole nother day in their week? You know, I realized that it was like almost like 2 work days of extra time that I could then actually work on things that were more interesting and would further my evolution and my big dream, which is to influence millions and millions of people to do good works and to rise to the occasion of their divine purpose and to fulfill that and to change this world together. All right, so we also say hi to Jennifer. I'm not going to ask you to speak today because we need to move on, but she's always here and she's answering questions, and wearing about 16 different hats, keeping this whole thing with the wheels glued on and moving us forward with grace and velocity. And we love you so much. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so now I'd like to acknowledge all the people in the room, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with our tapping. So if you want to put in the chat window your hello and where you're logging into the circle from today, it's very exciting for us. I can see that we've got 42 people registered, some of people who are live right now, some who will be logging in shortly, and many who will be watching overnight. I wake up in the morning and I see data and evidence of people from all over the world who've been watching the videos and tapping, and it's super exciting, like Finland and Canada and the UK and Italy and the Ukraine. So welcome to all you who are on replay. Know that we love you. Okay, so hello, Darren and Catherine and Mia and Celeste from New York. And let's see, who else? The system has changed a little bit, so this is our first week in the new system. It looks a little bit different on my side. Ria from South Lake, and Mateo, hi, 4th ever tap, 2nd circle, hi Tribe Love in Alabama. Sage in Austin, welcome everybody. Kashmira from Florida, I'm really glad you're back with us, honey. I've missed you. And Rosie in Oakland, beautiful. Really happy that you're here, everyone. All right, so I'd like you to get clear on what you want to bring to the circle tonight and what you'd like to put some love and healing on for yourself. And how does perseverance tie into this? Is it that you need to acknowledge how you've had to persevere on top of all this and give yourself some credit? Is it that you are removing blockages that are keeping you from persevering and being as consistent in your forward growth as possible? Think about what it is that you want to work on. And Jennifer is going to screen share with us the core causes questions for the viewers who don't have access to the pop-ins button. For those who do see the pop-ins button, it should be on the right-hand side of your screen. Click the pop-ins button, and you will see core causes, get started, and you're going to click that button. It's going to take you to a live online survey, and you'll have about 5 minutes to take this survey. I'm going to turn my camera off and be back with you in about 5 minutes. For people on replay, know that you can also go to my website, sonyasophia.us, go to the World Tapping Circle drop-down menu. It'll say Core Causes Questions. You can push that button, download a PDF, print it out, and use that for this session or future sessions. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Go ahead and submit your survey. Finish up as quickly as you can so we can get moving on the tapping. Okay, everyone. If you haven't finished your survey, finish it now. And in just a few seconds, Jennifer's going to screen share the answers and we're going to look at what we've got. Okay, go ahead and refresh it one more time, Jennifer, because it does take a few seconds sometimes to get everyone's answers in. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are working on relationships and sexuality today. Some on health and body, a few on peak performance, some on transition. What are the negative feelings associated with your issue? Lots of fear at a whopping 40%. Sadness, exhaustion. Everyone tap the front of your chest. Nice open, loose fingers and breathe as we read this. Some of these might be your feelings. Some of them could have been your feelings, and maybe you didn't recognize them until just now. A lot of overwhelm. Feelings of frustration, being stuck, feeling betrayed, a little bit of attacked, a lot of embarrassment, feelings of unworthiness, and a lot of people feeling broken, 66%. Okay? Some people saying, I feel addicted and disconnected and vengeful, spiteful, just a little bit. Okay. What's your negative self-talk about this issue? I'm not good enough, 31%. That's great. It's down. Usually that's the top. Fear of what other people will think. Fear of the responsibility. Not enough money. Not enough time. People saying, I want to put this off and deal with it later. That's a favorite one for me and a great one for this. We're talking about persistence, which the opposite would be procrastination, right? A fear of being seen. People saying, I don't care, my needs don't matter, it's too hard, I don't deserve happiness. I think you get it. What does your culture say about this? I'm just going to read a few of these. Spiritual moms don't get vindictive and mean. Consume, convenience, loser, lazy, weak, slave, criminal. If you're not healthy and high functioning, you aren't good enough. Good people don't get angry. It's not okay to lose my temper. You've got to work hard for the money. Skinny women are beautiful and deserving of love. If you had a color, what would that be? What would it look like? Lots of red. That indicates a lot of anger and possibly inflammation as a result in your body. When did this issue first start? A lot of people saying it was my whole life. Others saying ages 1 to 4, 5 to 9. Who do you blame or hold responsible for your issue? Most people, 42%, are blaming themselves. Some people saying dad. Some people saying it was my whole family or my culture. Okay, tapping your chest and breathing. Who in your family modeled similar attitudes and feelings? A lot of people say mom did. It's interesting. You're not blaming your mother, but you're seeing that you might have templated or mimicked the very thoughts and feelings and attitudes and situations that she was in. Others say it was dad. So that's about split even today. Kind of unusual. Where do you feel it in your body? Again, people say my entire body, a lot in the chest, stomach, coming in at 28%. If your issue had a texture, what would it be? And this is again for the more visceral people who are more kinetically sensing. Sharp, jagged, heavy, tight. Okay? What benefit do you think you're receiving by holding on to this issue? Most people saying protection. Today, for the first time that I've ever seen, it's flipped, where proving something is weighing in at 38%. That's much higher than usual. And punishing myself is at 30%, and protection is only at 23%. Wow, interesting. Rate the intensity of your issue on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. Doesn't look like anyone has rated their issue under a 7. So if we drop anyone in this room down from under a 7, then we will have accomplished something major tonight. And I know that we will, because we always do, because tapping is really magical and powerful, and so are you. All right, so let's go after it, shall we? So you're going to just follow along with me, and I'm going to show you the points on my body. You're going to take a bunch of deep breaths, big noisy exhalations, relaxing your whole body as much as you can while we do this, knowing that it's normal and natural to find energy coursing through your body. You might find yourself shivering, tingling, burping, laughing, yawning, crying, hiccuping, other types of off-gassing. Your body's going to go through a fast forwarding of releasing stored emotional stress and accumulated stress and trauma from your nervous system. So it might feel a little funny. Let your body do what it needs to do. If you have a glass of water, some tissues handy, that's helpful. Sometimes it's nice to have something to write things down on, because there might be something that is an aha moment for you that you want to keep written in front of you for a week. Put it on your altar, tape it to your mirror, write it in big red letters across your bathroom mirror in lipstick, something that you want to keep in mind. Okay? All right, here we go. So massaging the front of your chest, press around in the front of your chest and see if you can feel into a sore spot. Sometimes it's way down here, sometimes it's out here, sometimes it's up here. Feel around and see if you can find an area of tissue that when you press on it, it feels more tender than the surrounding tissue. Give yourself a nice big deep breath and a big noisy sigh. Okay, good. Now, if I'm using words that don't fit your situation, you edit them and you say what does, even if it's the exact opposite of what I'm saying. You stay true to yourself. Repeating after me, even though I have this issue. And think about what you're talking about. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the eyebrows, even though I have this issue. Tap the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Big, noisy breath. Good. Tap your cheeks. Even though I have this issue, say what your issue is. And tap under your nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Big, noisy breath. Strong exhalation. Ah. Good. Tap under your lips. This issue. Say what your issue is again. And tap your chest in a circle. You've got all these different points along the front of your chest. See if you can find all of them. I feel so what about this? Fill in the blank. And say it again. I'm going to give you a sentence stem. That means a part of a sentence, and you fill in the rest of it. I feel so... And tap down to the center of your chest. Say it again. I feel so what? Big, noisy breath, strong exhalation. Tapping the front of your ribs. Even though I have this issue, And it really makes me feel how. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. And tap the side of the rib cage, side seam of the body. This issue, say what it is. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Okay, and you don't have to hold your hand up like I am. I'm holding it up so you can see the point, but you can rest your hand in the lap. And this point is right here on the outside of the wrist, on the pinky side of your wrist. Tapping on this bone and straight across the inside of the wrist. I feel so, and say it again. Good. Tap the side of the thumb. This feeling of, say you're feeling again. Tap the inside, tap the index finger. I feel this feeling where in my body? Tap the middle finger. I've been holding it right here in my what? And tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Even though I have this issue, say your issue again. Tap the little finger. And part of me feels really broken. Big deep breath, big sigh. Tap the side of the hand. This broken feeling. Tune in how your issue makes you feel. Maybe broken isn't a word for you. You can say something else. But for those of us who feel broken about it, just tune into how exactly you feel broken. Tap the top of the head. It makes me feel really broken when I do what? How does your issue make you feel or react? So is it when I lose my temper I feel broken, or when I do what I feel broken? Tap the side of the head, the back of the head, big noisy breath. And tap the eyebrows, this broken feeling. And tap the temples. I love and respect myself. Tap the cheeks, even with this broken feeling. Tap under the nose. I love and forgive myself. Tap under the lips, even with this part of me that feels so broken. Big noisy breath, tuning in again to see if you feel that broken place still as much as you did. Tap your chest. I'm open to healing this for myself. Tapping your chest in a circle. Say it again. I'm open to healing this for myself, even if it feels impossible. Big noisy breath. Good. Tap the front of the ribs. Part of me says it's impossible. Tap the side of the ribs. Part of me says what? What's the negative inner critic say to you? Say it 3 times as you tap the side of your ribs. Part of me says, say it 3 times. Tap the inside of your wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if a part of me says, what? Tap the side of the thumb. Part of me really believes that this is true. Say this limiting belief again. What is it that you've been telling yourself is the cold, ugly truth? That I'm too late, that I'm too much, that what? Tap the index finger. Let's say this negative thing again. Part of me believes what is true. Big noisy breath. Tap the bottom, middle of your middle finger. I love and respect myself. And let's say that with some enthusiasm. I love and respect myself, even if a part of me says that blank is true. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. Big breath. Where did you pick up that thought? What happened? There was an incident in your life when you went, okay, that's how it is. I see how things are. So think back in time. When did you start believing this? Might have been a certain age bracket. Maybe you were 2 or 3. Maybe you were 5 or 6. Maybe it was when you hit high school. Maybe it was when you went to college or didn't go to college. Tap your little finger. When did you start thinking this was true? How old were you? Tap the side of the hand. I've been telling myself this for a really long time. And I've been acting like this is the truth. Tap the top of the head. I've really been expecting, say your limiting belief again. And tap the sides of the head and the eyebrows. I've been expecting what? Say this limiting belief again. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. I'm open to releasing this limiting expectation that I picked up when I was how old? And tap into the nose. I love and respect myself. Tap under the lips. I'm open to releasing this limiting expectation. And tap the chest. It's the same expectation that I learned from who or where? Where did you pick it up? Did you pick it up from your mom, your dad, your school, your religious teachings, TV? Where did you pick it up? Tap your chest in a circle and think about it for a minute. When you have an answer, say, I got this from where? Say it 3 times. I got this from Dad, or I got this from Mom. Big deep breath. Tapping down to the center of your chest. I picked this up from who or where? Tapping the front of the rib cage. I picked this up from where? Tap the side of the ribs. And it's really been slowing me down. Inside of the wrist. Even though I picked up this idea that, say the limiting idea again. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. And tap your index finger. And I'm releasing this idea, say the limiting idea again. Tap the middle finger. What would you rather replace it with? I'll give you a hint. It's the opposite of what you've been telling yourself. So say it out loud. I'm open to replacing this limiting belief with the new thought that what is possible. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm bringing myself back to life. And tap your little finger. I'm allowing myself to consistently move forward now. And tap the side of your hand. It's safe for me to consistently move forward now. Tap the top of the head. It's safe for me to really get some traction. Tap the side of the head and the back of the head. To move myself forward past what happened. Okay, tap your eyebrow. What happened? There was an event, right? Or maybe a series of events that are all filed under the same type of event. Tap your temples. Can you tell us what that file is called or what that memory is called? And I'm not asking you to put that in the chat. I'm asking you to say it out loud to yourself. Tap your cheeks and breathe. What happened? You got 10 seconds. Explain it as quickly as you can and breathe. Tapping under your nose and tapping under your lips. And even though I've been holding this in my mind and in my body, and tap the chest. I'm still a good person. Tap it all the way around your chest. I'm still worthy of love. Tap the front of the ribs. And I forgive myself for not being able to process this until now. Tap the side of the ribs. It's okay that it took this amount of time. Big breath and relax and try to accept. I say try because you might feel like I can't accept that it took this long, but just for a minute, just for fun, let's accept for 30 seconds that it took until now to get to this point in your life. Okay, tap the inside of the wrist. 30 seconds of acceptance that this is how long it took and this is where we're at. Big breath. Tap the side of the thumb. Here we are. See, we all think that we should be somewhere else than where we really are. That we should be there by now, that we should have never had to be here at all, that we worked on it once and that should have been enough. Tap the side of the thumb. And when we argue with reality, we slow ourselves down and we create a lot of suffering. For ourselves mainly, but when we're suffering, actually the people that love us and know us suffer along with us because they're affected by what we're talking about and how we're feeling and how we're acting and what we're accomplishing or not accomplishing. Right? Tap your index finger. I forgive myself for thinking I should be what by now? That's a fun one. Let's say it again. I forgive myself for thinking I should be blank by now. This is super fun, you guys. Say it again. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I think I should be what by now? Tap your little finger and breathe. Oh, yes, that's it. Tap the side of your hand. I've been telling myself I should be by now. What? Is it rich? Is it married? Is it skinny? Is it successful? Is it over it? Tap the top of the head. I love and respect myself, even though I am not fill in the blank by now. That's a fun one to say, isn't it? Let's do it again. I love and respect myself, even though I'm not what by now? Tap your temples and breathe. Good. I'm open to releasing the pressure. Tap your cheeks that I put on myself. Tap under the nose and that the world puts on me. Tap under the nose. That says I should be what by now? Tap the chest and just listening for a second. So when we tell ourselves we should be somewhere other than we are, we feel like we're behind. And when we really feel like we're behind and there's a constant feeling of I can't catch up, we're likely to quit. But if I could just say, this is where I'm at on my path, then instead of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And ruining the whole ride, I could just be like, oh, look, there's the cows, there's the sunshine, there's the road, there's the cars, there's my job, there's my nap, there's my dinner, here's where I'm at. And consistency and persistence isn't really an issue, it's just the natural movement of life where I'm at. Okay? And this is the secret to staying consistent, is not getting ahead of yourself or projecting yourself backwards into the past with your mind, but allowing yourself to be right where you are. Right where you are is the only place that action can ever happen. And so when you're where you are now, you actually can make new choices. And you can do those little choices that turn into big results because you did them over and over, little baby steps, one at a time. So now we're going to go into the chat room, and I would like to hear where your issue was at the beginning, what number you rated it at, and where it is now. And while we're waiting for the chat to come in on this side, I'd like you, if you're not chatting, to tap your chest in the circle and breathe. And acknowledge the intensity of your issue without trying to change it. Just accept it where it is for right now, just for a few seconds, and breathe. Okay, so Allison says she's gone from an 8.5 to down to an 8. That's good. Sarah, a 7 to a 5. Kyle's hanging steady at an 8. Ursula is from an 8 to a 7. Ria is a 7 to a 4. Mateo, a 7 to a 5. And these are numbers that we would expect at this point. Darren's gone from a 9 to an 8.5. And Anne, an 8 to a 2. Wow, moving quickly. You might get to a 0 and get to start on a new issue, Anne. And Kashmira, a 10 to an 8. And Mateo, who looks like is at Kashmira's house, welcome other Mateo, an 8 to a 6. She's having a little tapping party. That's awesome. I love it when you guys share your memberships by inviting friends over for a little tapping party. It's so beautiful. And Sage, you've gone from a 7 to a 3. Awesome. I'm so happy for you. Okay, let's keep going. Massaging the front of the chest. Even though I've been, now let's go to that last question on the survey. What benefit do you think you're getting by holding on to your issue? So some people said punishing themselves and trying to teach themselves a lesson. Some people said protecting myself. So what did you answer? I've been holding on to this to do what? Big breath, big sigh. And tap the eyebrows. I've been holding on to this. Say what exactly you're holding on to specifically. Maybe it's anger towards my father, or guilt towards my lover, or feeling ripped off by who, whatever it is. I've been holding on to this to do what? Tap the temples, say it again, and breathe. Tap your cheeks. I've been holding on to this. Why? Tap into the nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. And tap under the lips. Even though I've been holding on to this, say it again. Tap your chest. Part of me thinks that if I were to let it go, what would happen? Say what negative thing you are imagining might happen if you were to let it go. Tapping the front of your ribs. If I let this go, what might happen? And tapping the side of the ribs. I'm afraid if I let this go, then what will happen? And tap the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and respecting myself, even though I'm so afraid of what happening. Tap the side of the thumb. Is it really true that if I heal this, I'll never learn my lesson? Tap the index finger. Is it possible to keep the wisdom and let go of the feelings of what? Tap the middle finger. I'm allowing myself to learn what I needed to learn from this. What did you need to learn? Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I'm open to releasing the need to punish myself or to subconsciously hold on to this. Tap the little finger. Who would I be if I let go of the need to hold on to this? Tap the side of your hand and breathe. Tap the top of the head. Who would I be if I let go of the need to hold on to this? Tap the sides of the head and the back of the head. Even if part of me doesn't know another way to be, tap the temples. And I want to ensure I don't make the same mistakes again. Tap the cheeks. So part of me thinks I have to hold on to this and punish myself. Tap under the nose, or hold on to this to protect myself. Tap under the lips. Another part of me knows that letting it go is the wisest choice. Big breath, big sigh. Tap the chest. It's possible I just need to learn not to be punished. And tuning in for those of you that said punishing myself. Is it because you feel like you need to suffer because you feel like you did something wrong or bad? Tap the front of the ribs. Just acknowledge whatever it is that makes you want to hold on to it. Tap the side of the ribs. It's safe for me to release these feelings of what? Keep tapping and breathing. Tapping the side of the ribs. Stay present. I know it's easy to want to check out. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. And tap the side of the thumb. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the index finger. I'm learning and growing. Tap the middle finger. And I'm open to forgiving who? Who is it that if you could forgive, would make a huge difference in this issue. Is it God? Is it your mother? Is it your father? Is it yourself? Is it a lover? Is it your society? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. It's safe for me to forgive who? Tap your little finger. Let's say it again. I'm open to the possibility of forgiving who? Oh yes, there it is, coming out. Tap the side of your hand. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the top of your head. I'm ready to do this because I'm ready to get my energy back. Woo! Okay, tap your eyebrows. I'm doing this to get my energy back. Tap the temples. My life force is vital. Tap the cheeks. I've got better things to do. Tap into the nose. I need my inner resources now. Big breath. Tap under the lips. I'm open to releasing everyone involved. Tap the chest, even if it was really unfair and the situation went on way too long. Let's say that again. That feels like a big one. Tap the front of the ribs. It was really unfair and it went on way too long. Tap the side of the ribs. It was really unfair and it went on way too long. Breathe and make some sound. Good job. Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself. And tap the side of the thumb. I'm bringing my energy up. Tap the index finger. Clearing this out. Tap your middle finger. I deserve to finally have some peace about this. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I deserve to feel connected again. Tap your little finger. I deserve to feel loved. Tap the side of the hand. It's safe for me to do this. Hallelujah. Let's have another check-in. If you're not chatting in the window, I would like you to stay tapping around on your chest or any of the other points. This is just kind of a default point that's easy to reach. Put in the window what your issue was, numerically what it is now. Maybe it was a 9, now it's a 6. And tell me what you think is still holding it together. So feelings of inadequacy or anger at my ex or whatever it is. And again, if you're not chatting, you are focusing on exactly where it is and what's holding it together, and you're just accepting it for now, right where it is. It might be a memory, it might be a certain thing someone said. In that case, you would go to repeat that statement in your head, that mean thing or that look on someone's face. I want you to hold that in your mind as you tap and relax towards that part of yourself with compassion. So whatever you're putting in the window right now, saying, for example, feelings of unworthiness or frustration with society, I want you to tap and just chant that. I feel unworthy, or I feel so much frustration with society. You can just say frustration with society, frustration with society, frustration with society. Really abbreviate it. So I'm going to just read a few pieces of chat here. Darren says, feelings of resentment towards my mother. Welcome to the circle, by the way, Darren. Frustration with society. I'm not ready to forgive yet. If I do, they will think they are right about me. They don't know me at all. Okay, great. Will it really change their minds if you release the karmic fight? I don't trust myself or approve. Anne says, you were right. New issue. Good, you cleared it. Up to a 9. New issue, down to a 6 already. Held by habit. Beautiful. Rosie, she says, I'm at a 6. It's in my old identity and a feeling of protection. That's going to come up over and over for most people every time they tap. It's a, what do I do with my identity? It's become me. So again, I'm going to remind you, your identity is overrated and virtually unnecessary. You can have a temporary identity, okay, for today, for this week, for this month, but that's going to keep changing every time you evolve and update your nervous system, which is what we're doing here. You're evolving. So your identity, your self-description, your bio of who you think you are and what you're capable of has to be updated. And weirdly enough, that feels threatening, mostly because that part of our minds, our ego, our identity, our personality, wants to stay the same. But that's not the name of the game on planet Earth. Our name is evolving. Okay, back to the chat, and then we're going to keep tapping. Celeste, a 9 to a 7 to a 5. Past life misery of scary food versus worst nightmare possible. Okay, so sending love back to that past life. And for those of you believe it or don't believe it, we all have genetic memory. And sometimes we're carrying things that feel like ours from another time. Sometimes it feels like a family thing that we've inherited. Either way, the process is the same. You tap, you tune into it, and you bring compassion to that exact experience without changing any details. You just bring empathy and awareness and love to it, and watch what happens. Okay? Mateo, a 5 to a 3, letting go of punishing myself to feel like my dad, loss of love, and my mom, fear of no success, stability. Okay, massaging the front of the chest. Even though this is still holding it together, say what it is. Big deep breath. I'm open to loving and accepting myself anyway. Tap the eyebrows. Even though this is still holding it together, say what it is. Tap the temples. Tap the cheeks. I'm open to loving and expressing myself. Tap under the nose. Tap under the lips. This is still holding it together. Tuning in again. Say what it is. Feel it in your body and breathe. We're going to turbo tap for several points on just this remaining, we can call it pain, we can call it fear. You say what it is for you. Okay? This remaining limitation, I'm just going to say limitation, but you're going to fill in the blank. Tap the front of the ribs, say it again. This remaining limitation. Be specific in your mind. Stay focused. We're actually going in after the neural network, the memory bank that's holding this in place. So be really specific. Tap the side of the ribs. This remaining what? Tap the inside of the wrist. Again, this remaining, say it again and breathe. Tap the side of the thumb. One more time with feeling. This remaining, say it again. Tap your index finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap your middle finger, even if a part of me feels so what? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. And this has really been slowing me down. Tap the little finger. And making me want to give up. Tap the side of the hand. I love and accept myself. Tap the top of the head. Even though I learned what? What did you learn? What limiting thing did you learn? Tap the eyebrows. It's okay. Tap the temples. I've been holding on to this. Tap the cheeks. It's all right. Big breath, sending love to that part of you that's still holding on. Tap into the nose. I really want what? What are you waiting for? Is it you're wanting to get an apology? Are you wanting your parents to heal so that you can finally let go of their pain? Are you wanting someone to come into your life and love you unconditionally and rescue you from the place that you can't love yourself? Oh, goodness sakes alive. Here it is. Tap the front of your ribs. I want what? This is your chance to just say it. Blurt it out. It doesn't even have to be reasonable. Tap the side of the ribs. Say it again. I want what? Tap the inside of the wrist. I want. Say it again. Tap the side of the thumb. And I'm afraid I'm not going to get it. Tap the index finger. I love and accept myself. Tap your middle finger, even though I'm afraid that I'm not going to get what? Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I'm allowing myself. Tap your little finger. The possibility of giving myself the feeling of, so what is it that you're wanting? If it's the success that you deserve or the love that you crave or playing at a higher level, I want you just to beam yourself as if you are your future self and you've already achieved this. I want you to beam it back to the self you are now. What would it feel like to have already achieved this, to already have it working in your life? And breathe. Big, deep breath. Do it again. Tapping your head. Imagining that you've already had this for half a year and your future self is beaming back to the present time self, the glorious, relaxing feeling of success and peace and connection and stability and just a sense of confidence. I'm like, yeah, this is a good place I'm in. This is a really good place I'm in. Big breath. Tap the eyebrows. I'm allowing myself to receive this. Big breath. Beam it to yourself as if you're beaming it into a mirror, and that mirror is bouncing it right back into your body. See if you can take it straight through your skin and into your blood. This feeling of accomplishment or connection, stability and comfort. And allowing your future self to just whisper to you how grateful he or she is that you stuck with it, that you went there with yourself, that you decided to let yourself feel and realize. Tap your chest. Let's have another little check-in, shall we? So again, I want you to tell me where you were at the beginning before we started tapping, where you are now, and any little dangly bits that are still begging for love and attention. In other words, what's holding it together? And when you're not chatting, you are tapping your chest, giving yourself big breaths, and bringing empathy to whatever comes up when you ask yourself, where is it now? What's still holding it together? And breathe. And breathe love right onto the answer. Congratulations, Celeste, a 9 to a 3, and I love that it's okay to be present when I shop, cook, and I eat food. That is a huge revelation. Write that down. Stick it somewhere you can see it. And you chant that as I read the rest of the text in here. Arrow, an 8 to a 2, beautiful. She says lack of commitment, great. So Arrow, for you, it's who would I be if I took myself seriously? And I took this seriously. And really buckled down and said, okay, I'm going here and nothing's going to stop me. So Ria says a 7 to a 2, self-worth and trust. That was almost going to be our topic tonight, is going to be trust. Maybe we'll do that next week. My future self is confident, Allison says, loved and in integrity, an 8 to a 6 to a 3. You guys are doing so well. And an 8 to a 2. Beautiful. Still held together by fear of how I will be perceived. Great. Chanting as I read, what will they think of me? What will they think of me? What will they think of me? How will I look? Okay? Vanessa, a 10 to a 7 or a 6. Unworthiness, doubt, and a fear of being ridiculed are holding it together. Same advice as I gave to Anne for you, Vanessa. Ursula, a 7 to a 5, I don't know how to do it. So you're just going to chant, I don't know how to do it, and then you're going to say, and I'm open to finding out. I don't know how to do it, and I'm open to finding out. A Kashmira, a 10 to a 6, I don't know what to do. Same advice I gave to Ursula for you. And her friend Mateo, a 10 to a 5, still fully don't believe it. Great, so you're going to chant, I don't believe it, can't be possible, I don't believe it. And then reverse it, I'm open to letting this exist. I'm open to letting it be possible. Dylan, an 8 to a 3 or a 2, stay with the persistence and step up, baby. That's right. Celeste, Darren, a 9 to a 5, self-love. Beautiful. Gretchen, 8 to a 2. Welcome, Gretchen. Not trusting myself. I'm trying to read it because you're abbreviating and it's confusing me. Anyway, not trusting myself to be safe and secure and being fully in my power. Mateo says, love, success, happiness all at once, fuel and support each other, but I've never had them all at once. How is it possible? Yeah, you and me both. Let's rock it. Mia, a 7 to a 5, grateful for family, prioritize my needs. I do not need to be a sacrificial lamb for anyone. No, me either. Massaging the front of the chest. Kyle, 8 to a 7, not pinpointing my feelings, feeling stuck. Okay, so Kyle, for you, and I think I've seen this coming up for you before, I want you to just say, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go here. Give yourself permission to be stuck, to feel stuck, and to have that resistance. It is scary. Once the resistance moves, man, you fly. And that brings up a lot. Massaging the front of the chest. Here we go. Even though I'm still holding back with thoughts and feelings of what? Be really specific. Kyle, especially you, really specific. What is it that you don't want to feel? Tap the eyebrows. I love and respect myself. Tap the temples. It's okay that I'm still holding back because I don't want to deal with what? Name 2 things you don't want to deal with. Tap your cheeks. I don't want to deal with it. I'll do it later. Tap under the lips. I'll do it later. Whoa. Tap your chest. I'll do it later. Tap your chest. Woo, I'll do it later. Big breath. Tap the front of the ribs. I don't want to do it right now. Tap the side of the ribs, holding back. Tap the inside of the wrist. It's scary to move forward. Big breath. Tap the side of the thumb. I just want to do a little bit and stop. How about halfway and then I'll start something else? Jennifer's glad I'm tapping on this. How about halfway and then I'll start something else? Tap your middle finger. I love and respect myself. Big breath. I'm allowing myself to stay persistent. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. To recommit. Tap your little finger. I'm allowing myself to move forward. Tap the side of the hand. To have what I need. Tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to be humble and inch myself along. Tap the back of the head. I forgive myself for resisting this change. Tap the eyebrows. For fearing who I would become. Tap the temples. It's safe for me to make consistent progress in this area. What area are we talking about for you? And if you're still in resistance, Kyle, you're going to say, it's not safe for me to make consistent progress in this area, okay? Tap your cheeks and breathe. And some of you might need to go back and forth. It is safe. Let's do it all together. It's safe for me to make progress. Tap into the nose. It's not safe for me to make progress. Tap into the lips. It's safe for me to make progress. Tap the chest. I'm consistently growing, little by little, bit by bit. Tap the front of the ribs, moving myself forward, consistently practicing. Big breath. Ooh, that's what all the practitioners said, didn't they, at the beginning? Consistently practicing. Tap the chest, side of the chest. Consistently practicing. Noticing when I'm off course. Big breath. Tap the inside of the wrist, making tiny course corrections. Navigating forward with little micro adjustments in the moment. So we tend to think of our life as having to have these like giant turning points and these major pivots. Sometimes that happens, but more often than not, it's tiny little course corrections. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? So if this is my life, and here I am at this point in my life, and I want to go that way, and I want to end up going straight down the middle, if I'm just a little bit off here at the base, and I don't correct it when it's just a little pivot down here, way out here at the end of the path, I'm going to be way over there. Okay, but if I change that pivot just slightly at the base, I'm going to end up on my goal. Okay, and an airplane doesn't fly straight line to one place to the other. It makes all these kind of little course corrections. And the same with a car. You don't grab the steering wheel and just plow straight ahead. You're doing this the whole time, little bits of this. And the same with your life. So when you're a little off course, correct it before you're a lot off course. If you do a little bit every day, you're not going to get off course very far, are you? Especially if you're tapping on a regular basis. And that's why we've made this to be a consistent practice and why you have ongoing support. So I show up for you, the circle shows up for you, we show up for each other, you show up for you. Tap your chest. I'm showing up for myself. Consistently. I don't have to be perfect. Tap the front of the ribs. I don't have to be perfect, but I am showing up. Big breath, make some sound. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to develop practice and consistency. And tap the inside of the wrist. I'm training myself to stay the course, to go after my dreams. Tap the side of the thumb. To release the beliefs and the memories that have gotten in my way. Tap your index finger. What if I tapped for a few minutes every day? Are you ready? This is where it's going to get really interesting because I'm about to give you a 7-day challenge. This is the 7-day tapping challenge. This means that you're going to tap for 7 days for at least 20 minutes a day. So you can tap on your own. You can tap with one of the videos. You could fast forward through the chatty bit at the front and just tap for that hour. You could tap for just a piece of it and use the video in 2 parts. Tap the middle finger and breathe. 7 days of tapping a little bit every day. You could break it up into 5-minute chunks or 2-minute chunks and do it several times a day. Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. What do you think you can commit to right now? If you were going to commit to 7 days of tapping, do you think you could do 5 minutes a day, twice a day? First thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, clearing any disappointments about the day, frustrations. I'm going to put it up on Facebook, and if you're not my friend on Facebook yet, please friend me. I'm going to put 7-day tapping challenge. I think I'm going to put this video up too for any of your friends to watch for free, and then we're going to keep our comments for 7 days going in that one flow. And invite your friends. Say, hey, I'm doing the 7-day challenge. Do it with me, and let's talk about it. Tap your little finger. I'm willing to be persistent for 7 whole days. That means you're tapping from this video to our next video next week, our next live broadcast. What would that do for you? Tap the side of your hand. All the little weirdnesses and sadnesses and frustrations got a little bit of empathy and love and attention for a whole week, and wonder how that would propel your life forward. At least 10 minutes a day, Gretchen says. I love it. That's not too much to ask. You probably think grumpy thoughts for at least 10 minutes a day. And really all tapping is getting positive energy and positive thoughts to run through the electrical system of your body and to start moving things physically out of you. Okay? Tap your eyebrows. I'm willing to commit. Tap your temples to being more persistent and more consistent with loving myself. Tap the cheeks. I'm willing to commit to noticing when I'm off track. And breathe. Tap into the nose. I'm willing to commit to tapping on myself for a few minutes a day. Some of you guys might even want to say, I'm going to do like 3 videos between here and there and on 5 minutes a day. Wow, that could be very cool. How big of a game do you want to play in your tapping commitment? I want to know what miracles you create for yourself because you decided to bump up your game to the next level. Tap the front of your ribs. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm doing this. Tap the top of your head. I'm really doing this. Good job. Tap all over your body. Tell yourself some loving, supportive things. What would you say to cheer yourself on? To say like, yeah, okay. You've just signed up for this challenge. I know you can do it. I love you. I respect you. This is good. I believe in you. This is your last chance to chat something in the window. I'd love to know how you feel about the tapping challenge. I'd love to know what you're committing to doing. And where you're at right now from the tap that you just experienced. Where did your issue go to? From what to what? So that's a lot of information. Answer any of those questions or all of them. This is your last little chatty moment. So Vanessa says, yes, I am willing and I will. That's great. We are using our wills. We have wills. We have free will. And that means that you get to decide how you're going to use your energy and your time and your attention every day. And tapping is your friend, because the more you clear your subconscious, the more conscious mind you have to create with and to navigate this world with. Mia says yes. Gretchen says yum. Jana says, ha, I can use it to prep as I prepare to launch my 30-day tapathon. She's doing a 30-day commitment. So next week, hopefully we'll have a link to her event. If you want to go for the big deep dive, Jana will take you there, and that's really cool. That's like a Facebook group. Everyone does 20 minutes a day, I think, is the commitment, and you are asked to check in every single day. So we're doing kind of a miniature version. I'm going to put a post up. I'm going to ask you to friend me, Sonya Sophia Illig, I-L-L-I-G, on Facebook, and we are going to go for it. Okay? Mateo says, I'm in for the 7 times 7 days daily practice. Allison's gone from a 3 down to a 1 on her second issue, I believe, or maybe that was Anne. Okay, Celeste, you're down to a 0. I have enough energy now to have small amounts of food on my plate from now on. Tap every morning when I awaken and let go of all the pain I woke up with. Beautiful. Sage says, so excited. I feel grateful and thankful, and I love you guys. Darren's committed to at least 10 minutes of tapping per day. I can do it. I feel I've grown in self-love. His issue's gone from a 9 to a 5. Challenge accepted. All right. Kyle, you're committed 100%. Awesome. Okay. Beautiful. I'm so happy, you guys. I'm so glad you're excited and energized, Mia. And everybody, thank you for being here. I love you so much, and the circle means so much to me. I am flying to London tomorrow morning, and I'll be broadcasting from a sheep farm in the country next Monday. And you might hear some baby lambs in the background. So I'll be in England and in Holland, and for my English friends, I'll be at the Gathering of the Minds event in London on the 10th. I'll put another message on my Facebook about that. And as far as I know, I'm teaching at a festival in Holland called Beyond Wonderland, which is a one-day miniature Burning Man kind of event, which seems really, really exciting and fun. So you'll be getting some pictures and posts about that too. I love you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the 7-day challenge. Enjoy your week. I'll be with you.